Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Michigan versus New Mexico game. I was in attendance. It was one of the most hyped up games I could think of in a long time, considering the opponent and the spread being in the 30s. But it was all about Bryce. So I get to the game usually about 20 minutes early into the stadium. I like to follow the band from the gray lot area up and then hanging a right down the street into the student section entrance, basically. And then they walk in front of the stadium, do a quick little, let's go blue, hail the victors. And then they go into the stadium. I like to, usually watch that. And then as I'm, listen to them play as we're going in to get our seats. And it was packed. Wasn't a ton of lines to get in because I apparently was late. Everyone was there to watch Bryce warm up. It was a crazy thing. I've never seen a stadium that packed outside of like the Ohio State game, basically, that early. And it was crazy to see that it was a packed house like 25 minutes ago. Even the student section was filled all that, which almost never happens that early, especially this early in the season, let alone half an hour before the game. Now, into the game itself. Couldn't start off better. Bryce with a throw on the first play. I was saying, like, man, imagine he throws at the first play. I obviously wanted like a deep shot down the field. We didn't really see many deep shots in theory. But the first two drives couldn't have gone better. You walk up there, look at the exact stats here. You had a pass for 11 yards, a run for 3 yards, run for 1 yard, pass for 7 yards, incomplete, and then a 56-yard touchdown run from Justice Haynes, who I've told you guys about is going to be absolutely unreal. Then it was a 3-play punt, 1 yard run, incomplete pass, 2 yard run, and then a punt. And then you got the ball back. We had a 8-yard pass, 1 yard run, 2 yard run, 25-yard pass, 3 yard run, 5 yard run, 5 yard run, 4 yard run, 4 yard run, 4 yard run, 3 yard run, 4 yard pass, and then a 5 yard touchdown run. So leaning on the run a little bit there, but after that it got good. 3 plays, 8 yards. You had next drive for them. They had a punt, 4 yard run, 4 yard pass, incomplete on 3rd and 2, and then a punt. And then this is when it got interesting. 14-yard pass to Marlon Klein, incomplete pass. It was a drop by Freddie Moore, my guy Freddie. We'll talk about him in a minute. 2-yard run, 7-yard pass. It was 4th and 1 at the Michigan 48. Analytics were probably screaming go for it, and Sherman decided to punt. Now, that was kind of the turning point in the game. I know it's crazy to say, but at that point it was 14-0, and that was kind of like, hey, we don't think that this team's a threat whatsoever. And they definitely were. They had a lot of good fun. I actually had a post in a group chat talking about my, main takeaways, good and bad. One of my number one takeaways was this staff and this team over at New Mexico rule. I need to shout out these guys exactly. The coach, I'm going to get his name in a second, but the players, Scottree Humphrey, we talked about. Jack Lane from from Idaho was awesome, and Dorian Thomas, I believe, is also from Idaho. 10 catches, 71 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Very good. Let me get this right now, real quick. New Mexico coach. Not Richard Pitino. Jason Eck is the coach of the football team. And let me get his stuff, because I heard an very interesting story about him that I might start a rumor right now. Yep. He went to, born in Wisconsin, went to Wisconsin as a player, GA at Wisconsin, 1990 to 2001, played as an O-line, 1995, 1998. Went to Colorado, Idaho, Winona State. I don't even know what the hell that is. Where is that? Looks like it's in Minnesota, Winona, Minnesota. Yep. Ball State, Hampton, Western Illinois, Minnesota State, Montana State, South Dakota State, Idaho, and then New Mexico. I think there's gonna be a job opening in Wisconsin. I think this guy should be one of your first calls. I know it's floating around John Gruden as like a joke, but I think this guy would be an unreal hire, and I think it's something that they should look into. I'm not trying to fire a guy already, but it's not working clearly right now. So this guy's fun. He had a lot of really cool trick plays. They had a trick play on the goal line. It was like 4th and inches, and they snapped it onto the ground, like rolling it back to the fullback, or the guy that was going to push the quarterback forward in the tush push type hitting, and he just floated over to a guy that snuck out and leaked around. Unreal stuff. But yeah, we'll see how it ends up turning out for them. But overall, they had an incredible game, and just watching, it was very fun to see. Um, Another winner in this game, Bryce Underwood. This guy's not a freshman. Again, this is Mr. Generational. The way he's basically carried himself and the way he just leads this team as an 18-year-old that just turned 18 is absolutely unreal. You'd think he's a veteran. He's making the very veteran throws, and he's making everyone around him great. You know, you look at some of these guys last year. Samaj Morgan sucked last year. Was it his fault? No, he was used wrong. Last year, Marlon Klein sucked. This year, unreal. And just the turnaround from these guys in one game is crazy. I mean, Channing Goodwin was barely even getting any snaps last year. I think he was probably redshirted. Unbelievable. Kendrick Bell, even his highlight of the season last year was passing on an end around that ended up getting interfered with, and it was Michigan first and goal, which they ended up not even scoring on against Ohio State, but it kind of, helped further back up Ohio State. He had a 30-yard catch on a no look from Bryce, by the way. I think the O-line played pretty well, all things considered. Brady Norton at right guard, we thought was a question mark. Guy played out of his mind. Hadi and Crippen did it well. Sprague had a bit of an issue, but Frazier came in when he was cramping out, played great. And then you had Evan Link at left tackle was doing his thing. He had one time a little questionable move, but he also had a really good block. He ended up getting on one of the touchdown runs. So everything balanced out perfectly. Receivers were good. Freddie Moore, my guy, he dropped one. It sucks, but hopefully he'll get another opportunity. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for on that front. As for the defense, kind of getting worked a little at times. The trick plays are crazy. I mean, they emptied the kitchen sink and they scored one. Andrew Marsh fumbled on one of the kickoffs, gave you another turnaround short field. They believe they scored on that one as well. And then the long drive with the very debatable the very debatable missed catch that was not a catch that they didn't review. But before that was a sack by Jay Shambaram, where it looked like it was a strip sack fumble. Did not happen. He was down, and they ruled him for targeting. Now, I understand why they called it targeting. I do. It's forcible contact to the head or neck area, and it appears he launched. My thing is, if you Photoshop the head, like if you like this to this to me, right, and they have no head, just my body here, right, he would have hit him the same way. He wasn't aiming for his head; just his head got in the way, and it was almost like he was like not like kissing him, but like the face masks hit each other. It wasn't like he was like lowering the helmet, hitting him on the side of the head. I mean, we saw a clip from JJ last year that's now floating on the internet, which is way worse. Got his guy's head taken off, and they just didn't even care about it. But whatever, who knows? Who cares? I don't even want to get into it too much. But he'll be out for the first half of OU. We'll talk about that later. Another really good thing in the defense was the rotations. Was it good that they were doing it at the time of the game they did it? In a vacuum, no. After that Minnesota game last year where they kind of let Minnesota completely back in the game, I thought we would have learned our lesson to kind of kill a team off for sure, and then go. Obviously, you won the game pretty comfortably. But it was fun. As a recruiting guy, I follow it, more than I would assume most people in the stadium would, and a lot of other things. Seeing the young guys get in and get reps was really important, and I think it's going to do wonders down the line because now you got a Jay Shambaram who's hurt, but you had Cole Sullivan and Troy Bowles and Jimmy Rolder playing a lot, even up to that point. In addition, afterwards, Bowles got some run. Sullivan had a sack and a interception. Bowles had a sack. Hausman, probably the player of the game on defense, absolutely all over the place. Damon Payne was good up front. Trey Williams as well was really good up front. TJ Guyton, an incredible one-armed interception. That was awesome. Derek Moore was playing out of his mind. Someone said he's what they wanted Rashawn Gary to be under Don Brown. Just like setting the edge and everything like that. So, trying to think who else they even have there. Benny played fine. Pierce even got in, played fine. And then, the secondary, Jair Hill, stopped grabbing, is what it is. Still playing well. Zeke Berry, unreal. TJ Metcalf, what he was doing in the red zone on the quarterback runs, I thought was super impressive and going to be very, 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 very important this week with John Mateer and his legs as a weapon all over the field, let alone the red zone. So that was very good there. they were kind of getting killed in the short and medium pass game, especially quick ones to the edge and in the flats. You're going to really have to work hard against Oklahoma because they love to throw the ball quick, in and out, quick plays to the line, air raid, Arbuckle, Batir. So if you don't get that figured out, it's going to be a problem. But I think they will. I like that crazy drive ended up being a long drive. 2 times you were off the field, but penalties, a very BS penalty, and then a short hopped catch. It was like, okay, cool. Those right there extended the drive, but it was nice to have a 12-minute drive. I know they ended up scoring on it, but it was good that they had to realize that they had to play. Not like I'm trying. I'm trying to put this in a good way, but like it was good to see them have to work hard in this situation, if that makes sense. Like you're not going to get a 12-minute drive, hopefully, against Oklahoma. I'd be stunned if you did. I'm just trying to explain. Like I like that they had a really hard defensive drive and had to work super hard. I assume it was, they've been doing that all practice, but in game with adrenaline, it's totally different. So, the running back duo was incredible. Justice Haynes, 16 carries, 159 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Marshall, 11 carries, 30 yards. So not the best, right, for him, but he had a ton of first downs. A lot of good high leverage. They're going to run the ball, short yardage situations that Chip Lindsey normally doesn't run in. I think he was told to, which we'll get into in a minute. But the way he was able to push himself and get down the field was very impressive, and get first downs and to keep the chains moving. And like I was saying earlier, if there was a stat and it was like, hey, 11 carries for 29 yards, but he had like 5 or 6 first downs, you take that. Like, sure, it's a 2-yard carry, but a 2-yard gain, but it's 3rd and 2. You need to, and he got it. Like that's the part that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And I think that he'll get better with time. I've never been the highest guy on Marshall. I still think he's very good. People were dubbing him already like one of the next Michigan greats after the last few games. I get it. I understand why you would think that, but I just think that Haynes is on such another level. To me, he's a clear RB1. I don't think the staff use it that way. But another thing I thought was very interesting was when Tony Alford was doing his rotations, it was only one or the other. There was never a third guy in there. I mean, Capana went in there once. I think it was almost like as a receiver because I think there was multiple times. But there was also multiple plays with both running backs in the field, which I thought was really cool. You had like a fake toss, fake pass thing. But I'm sure going forward we'll have a lot more double running back sets doing some crazy stuff. But yeah, Chip Lindsey was impressive. The defense was fun overall. A very, very, very fun game. I'm super excited for New Mexico. The spreads dropped in favor of the Michigan. It's now in favor of Michigan getting more points. Is what I'm trying to say. From 2.5, I believe, up to 5 to even 6 on some sites. So I'm very, very, very intrigued to see how this game's going to turn out. I'll do more coverage on what the game's going to be going forward. But yeah, I couldn't have been happier with what happened with Bryce. Again, I was like a kid on Christmas being like, oh my God, we have a quarterback, we have an offense that's balanced. I mean, this is more of a balanced offense than Jim Harbaugh ever had. We threw the ball 31 times. It didn't even feel like it was that many times. 21 completions, 251 yards and a touchdown. That was better than any offensive output last year. This game was already better than any offensive output last year. And I believe the 39-yard pass Jenny Goodwin, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed, it would have been the longest pass play of the season last year. Yeah. So, I mean, what more could you have asked for? I guess maybe more points and a better scoring output. But like, even if Sharon goes for it, is what it is. But last thing is just want Sharon to be more of a CEO. I know it's easy for me to say, all of us to say on the outside, but you look at it and it's like, man, if he could have been a little bit more hands off, he might have known that I needed to challenge that play, the bounce play. He probably could have let Chip Lindsey throw the ball on some short yardage plays, could have let Bryce run a little, but I'm sure Bryce will be doing that going forward. And again, that block by Bryce, I get you don't want him to do it, but I'm glad the other players are like, yeah, dude, that fires me up. Like, that's sick. Like, I couldn't imagine your $1 million prima donna quarterback in theory, right? Like, do you think, like, I hate to throw this kid under the bus because I have his jersey. It's actually right up there behind me. You think Nico would have thrown that block at Tennessee against Ohio State? You know, would JJ have thrown it? Absolutely. And that's why we loved guys like JJ. So that's all I have for now. Let me know down below your thoughts and takeaways from this game. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit that bell. You know when I'm posting, and excited to get into this stuff. I think we have a BCS podcast coming this week. I'll be in Norman. I might have to do a little game day vlog or something. But yeah, excited to see how this all turns out. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.